Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, in this episode I'm going to show you how to shoot a cityscape with a very nice technique. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, my name is Serge Ramelli. I'm a French photographer living in the beautiful city of Paris, France. Right now I'm traveling and I'm in Georgia, Atlanta, and I basically do 2 tutorials per week. If you want to get them for free, just click here to subscribe to my channel and you will get it every week. And if you want to get over 100 raw files, all you have to do is click here and get my newsletter twice a week. This way I can spam you, but in exchange, you will get hundreds of free raw files from all over the world. So it's really worth it and it's totally free. All it takes is a few nice emails from me every time I come out with a new tutorial. All right, we are here in Georgia, Atlanta. What you see behind me is a nice skyline. We are in the Piedmont Park, and there's a little lake in the foreground, and there's a skyline in the background. Now, when I was at Scott Kelby's office the other day, Matt Wiscosby showed me this technique and told me, listen, if you want to take a nice cityscape, what you do is you take 2 photos. You first take one when you have a little bit of details of the sky, and then you put your camera on tripod and you wait for the buildings to really light up completely, because usually when the buildings light up completely, the sky gets very dark, so you get no details there anymore. And you take another photo and then you mix both exposures. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. This is the first photo. That's the photo before the buildings are all lit up, but the sky is really nice. And we wait 10-15 minutes and we take another shot. That's a second shot, and we're going to mix up everything and see what we come out with. So here is the tutorial. All right, before we get started, I just want to announce that I have a new pack of presets for Lightroom. They work on Lightroom 4 and Lightroom 5, but on Lightroom 4, only 80% is going to work on it. And you can see all the before and after of this summer preset. It's called the summer preset. You've got some nice vintage, some nice black and white, some that's very colorful, and it really was based upon the summer. It's a lot of new preset, and you can just check it out. It is 15 new presets which you can have, and you can have 40% off until tomorrow night on it, because I'm still having a big sale on the 15th up to the 15th of April. All right, so let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, so this is a trick that I learned from Matt Wiscosby from Kelby One, and it's a really cool trick, and I wanted to try it. I was with Scott Kelby and Matt and the whole Photoshop world in Atlanta, and you know, after the show, we were looking for nice places to shoot the cityscape, you know, of Atlanta. So we wanted to get some buildings, but we wanted to get a nice foreground. And I Googled it and I heard about this park. And in this park, the Piedmont Park, you have the lake, and with the lake, you can get some of the city skyline. It's not like New York, but it's still something, you know. And here is the trick. And I mean, honestly, on this photo, I mean, the trick was good, and you will see it's amazing, but you know, there are times where this trick will really make a difference. And here's the trick. Now, the trick is this. I shot this photo at exactly 9, I don't know if the time is right because it's probably on the European time, but it says 9:09 p.m. I believe it's more like 8:09 p.m. And I shot this photo 20 minutes later. Check this out. Now, what's the difference? What's happening? 20 minutes later, it's getting really dark. It's now 8:30 p.m., 8:32 to be precise. So roughly 22 minutes later, and the city buildings are all lit up. But the sky totally changed. Now, we were lucky that night because we were facing west. So not only we had nice buildings, but we had a nice sky the whole way. But what happens most of the time, if you want to shoot like some nice cityscape in LA or any city, and you wait for the buildings to be totally lit on, the sky is going to have zero detail. So the trick is to be very patient. You put your camera on a tripod, you take a shot, and you do it like about 20 minutes before the buildings gets lit up, which is roughly at the beginning of the sunset. And you don't move for 20 minutes, and you take another photo. So you got 2 photos, one with a nice sky and one with a nice building. And what do you know? We're going to blend both exposure to get a sort of a super photo of Atlanta. So, and also I'm going to give you these raw files for free if you follow my podcast, if you subscribe to my newsletter. These raw files are 36 million Sony A7R RAW files, and the quality of the RAW files is crazy. I mean, it's much better than the 5D Mark II I used to work with. The details that you have in the highlights and shadows is crazy, and I'll let you download them and, you know, play around with them in Lightroom, and you will see for yourself. It's a whole new world, this camera. Anyway, so now I didn't do much editing on it. What I did though is to go to shade on the white balance and add and go to plus 45 here, plus 48, something like this on the tint, because I thought the whole photo was too blue the 20 minutes before. Then I opened up the shadows a little bit. You know, what I'm really looking at on this photo is the sky. I don't really care for the rest. I mean, I'm still going to open up the shadows. I'm going to do a minus clarity because I want the sky to be a bit fuzzy like this. I think it's kind of cool. And but the thing is, it's too blue, and there was a bit of yellow that is missing here. So I'm only retouching this for the upper part and the bottom part of the photo. So I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to add some yellows and some magenta. Make sure that on your brush your flow and density is very low, like 60%. Okay, and I'm just gonna maybe, you know, lower the exposure, and I'm gonna paint. I just want to bring back here some of the warmth that's there. So we have a contrast between the blue sky and the warmth there, and maybe do the same thing so the reflection is the same. Just add a bit of warmth. Maybe not that much yellow, a bit more magenta, a bit more saturation. Okay, something like that. All right. Now, that's all I'm going to do on this one. Then I'm going to synchronize with the other one. Oh yeah, one thing I might do though before is still, I know that there is no noise on this one. Let me go out of the brush here. I'm going to go out of the brush because the brush is still on. Okay, and I'm going to go to details. What is details? This is details. Okay, let's look at how sharp this photo is. Look at how this Sony A7R is pretty crazy. I like the sharpness, but I'm going to give it a lot more sharpness. I'm going to give it 100 in sharpness. Okay, and I don't think I'm going to take out any noise. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's a pretty sharp photo. I like that. I shot this, I think I was at what? Yeah, f8, ISO 200. First is, of course, is 1/4 of a second, so it was a pretty fast shutter speed. Okay, now I'm going to sync what I did on the first one on the second photo. So we have the same white balance. Okay, already it's kind of nice looking, and we have a very sharp building, so it has to render. Okay, yeah, it's very sharp. Actually, this one is even sharper than the other one, which is cool because the other one we're only going to use the sky. So, oh, it's really sharp. I love it. You know what? On this one, what I did is I went minus clarity because I wanted a bit of a fuzzy sky. But on this one, I'm interested by the buildings. So the buildings, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going instead of doing minus 33 clarity, I'm going to go and do some plus clarity, something like that. Now we got really amazingly sharp buildings. Check that out. Look at the quality of these RAW files. I'm amazed. I'm amazed because on the Canon, I always used to have a bit of a soft photo, and on this Sony, it's really the RAW files are just like, whoa. Okay, so now I'm ready to do my blending. You know, I didn't do much on this one. Maybe I'm gonna open up the shadows a little bit more. Yeah, not so much. I want to give it a natural look. And right, so right click, edit, and open as layers in Photoshop. And what that's gonna do is that it's gonna open both photos in the same, there is some update. Yeah, what happened is that I updated my Lightroom 5 because Lightroom for mobile came out with a new version of Lightroom, and now it's not exactly in sync with my Photoshop. So hope that's not giving me a problem. Yeah, because guys, Lightroom for mobile is out, and I'm going to try to do something on a little tutorial on it within the next 24 to 48 hours. It's pretty cool stuff if you like working on an iPad. All right, but that's coming out in a couple of days. So both of the photos is gonna, it's gonna open up in Lightroom, each one on its own layer. It's taking a bit of time because, mesdames et messieurs, this is 36 million pixels each. Very big files. You can make huge prints with this camera. I mean, you can make a print like, so big that I don't dare say. All right. Okay, they are both on their own layer. Now, usually, that's interesting. That's another project. All right, back to this. Now, usually what happens is I usually put on top the one where I'm going to keep the most detail off. And the one I'm going to keep the most detail of is this one, the one with a night sky, okay? Then I'm going to just do a simple thing. I'm going to put on an empty mask here, take a brush which is black, make sure my flow is 100% and opacity maybe 50, and I'm going to start painting and bring back some of the sky from the old photo. Check that out. And oh, one thing I forgot to show you is that I was a good boy. For 20 minutes, I did not move at all. Check this out. If I turn this one off and this one on, you see it's perfectly aligned. It's like completely aligned. So it's really cool. Now, let's say that's not the case. Let's say that you moved a little bit in the last 20 minutes, or there was the wind blowing, and your two photos are not exactly aligned. I'll give you a little trick. You select both layers and you go to Edit, Auto Align Layers. You just take the first option and click on OK, and it's going to do it for you. I don't do it because for some reason my tripod did not move and it's just perfect. Okay, so now let's bring in the magic. I just want to bring back some of the sky that was there before. So let's go back on the mask here, and I'm just painting away. Don't paint too much on the buildings, because if you do, you're going to take the lights out. Okay, but you know, it's just, and it's going to give, and I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom of the photo. So it's going to bring back some of the wrinkles, because it's this was a longer speed. Now check this out, before, after. I'm trying to get both worlds, the nice sky with the nice buildings. And it's a simple trick, but it's going to make the whole difference between your night photos being amazing or not. Because I see so much people, you know, getting night photos out there where, you know, the sky is boring. And believe me, guys, boring sky does not make drama. Check this out again, before. Oh, sorry, before. Well, you could say before and after. Okay, now I'm going to do a final edit. So I'm going to close this. I'm really excited about this trick because it's something that's the first time I'm trying it, and I must say it was a success. So thank you very much to Matt Kloskowski from PLP. That was an amazing trick. He showed this to me on photos he took in LA, and I was like blown away because I shot some photos in LA and I had a nice building, but the skies were really boring because, you know, when I waited for the buildings to be really good, the sky was really bad. So now we get both worlds, you know. Check this out. This is the first photo. This is the second photo. It's nice. I mean, I like the second photo, but I don't like, you know, the sky here being like, you know, with no details. It's a bit of a lack of drama. And comes the third photo. Okay, this one is, you know, a lot more sky, a lot more drama. And as usual, might do a little bit. I'm going to add a bit of contrast. Yeah, something like that. And maybe just open up a bit the shadows, just a tiny bit. And check this out. This is a very nice shot of Atlanta. Actually, I put this on 500px and I hit the home page. I think I went to 99.5 or 99.6, which is a pretty good, you know, like several thousands of views. So people seem to like it, and I think you should give it a try if you want to shoot some nice cityscapes, especially in the US with all these buildings. Go for it, man. You're gonna get some really impressive shots. Okay, back to me and see you in a couple of days. All right, guys, I hope you love this technique. I love the final photo, and go out there and take some beautiful skyline trying this multiple exposure. And I will see you in another episode. Au revoir.